Fun fact, all my kids have come in my life during my darkest moments. And this is a message for everybody to know that there's light even in the darkest times. But it's just the fact of being a dad, like being a father, being active and sharing moments and having these moments that I'm forever grateful for. And that's why I want to create this podcast, because fatherhood is a bomb. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Ignite the World podcast. This is episode number 38, Reflections of Fatherhood, Nurturing Lives, Shaping Futures. I am your host, Jamie Dottie Garza. Thank you for tuning in. And wow, this has been a weekend. One of a kind. Talk about deep reflections over the weekend. A lot of gratefulness, a lot of thankfulness. First of all, thank you guys for tuning in. I love you guys. I hope you guys are igniting the week so far and staying blessed by the best. I know definitely over the weekend, I have nothing but full gratitude. I know it was raining a lot. It rained like heavy rain throughout the weekend. But as you guys know, we went on a family cruise a few weeks ago. So my kids were able to celebrate their birthdays early. And what's so cool about this fact is that both Carter, who turned 7, his birthday was on Saturday. And our daughter, she's not a newborn no more because her birthday was on Sunday. So for the rest of our lives, yes, there's a 6-year gap in between, but there will be back to back. It's almost like WrestleMania. You know, WrestleMania is now their 2-day events. That's how I imagine my kids' birthdays, because it's a big WrestleMania event. You're going back to back, and that's what it's going to be. And it's just so, I don't believe in coincidences, because I know everything is under God's plan. And it is ironic, though, that how did I get blessed with 2 kids, right? 6 years apart, and they're celebrating a birthday. And I kind of just want to reflect on a lot of the moments I had this weekend. You know, for one, Carter turning 7 years old, it hit me different, because I'm like, wow, I have been a good dad, a good father, a father learning, I should say, for 7 years. And this is not counting my bonus son, who I consider my own. I grew up a lot like him, you know, having a stepfather. And, you know, we have a great relationship. And I've seen him grow up for about, 7 years. So this is not taken away from that. But something hits different when it's your own child, when it's your own seed, when it's coming from your own body and DNA. And I'm going to elaborate that on in a few moments. If you guys can't tell, I love my kids. And if you follow me, you know, I incorporate my family and my children a lot in my business and my messaging, and they're a part of it. I've never been a father to just be like all consumed with work. I love to be hands-on. Back to the story at hand. I shed some tears because I'm like, wow, I've really been able to help shape my son's future and his life. You know, he does this thing all the time where it's the most random times, and he did this often over the weekend. We'll be eating, or, we'll be playing video games. All of a sudden he comes and give me a hug. Say, "You're the best dad ever. You the best dad ever, Daddy." And if you know my son, he talks like that. I used to talk like that when I was a kid. But it just hit different. You know, I'm just so grateful to be his father and be in his life and help shape his future and see him grow and not limit his growth. I like putting lighter fluid on it. I like him asking questions. Sometimes he asks questions I don't want to answer, but I'm trying to do better. I'm sure all parents are there. I'm trying to do better of asking more questions on top of that and just challenging him to expand his mind, which has been really fun. It's just the fact that he turned 7 now. That's wow. I remember I didn't know how to be a father. Like no one could teach you how to be a father. You just fall in line and you learn day by day. I'm still learning. Every child, you know what the thing I told my best friend is, I told him the other day, I was like, with kids, they keep timestamps of everything. Like, they really track time. Like, if I was single, 7 years went past, I might not feel it. But when you have children and have a child who's turning older and older every year, they definitely gonna keep that timestamps. They no cap. Oh man. What I'll also say too, my daughter, it hit different. Fun fact, let's go into story time. Shout out to my baby girl, Kari, my Sia baby. She just turned 1 yesterday on the 24th. 1 full year. And talk about the blessing you didn't expect. She was that for me. Fun fact, all my kids have come in my life during my darkest moments. And this is a message for everybody to know that there's light even in the darkest times. I know with Carter, I was battling a lot of demons. I was about on the verge of losing my now wife. It was just a culmination, came to a head, and it was time for a change, and found out he was coming in 2016, which saved my life and saved ultimately our relationship with me and my now wife. So that's big. And then of course my daughter, she wasn't playing. None of my kids were playing. It was that blessing from God, like, here, I'm gonna bless you, because I was in the darkest moment of my life in 2021 in December. And if I would have had my way, and I shared this on the last episode 37, I did want to take my life away. And if I would have had my way in December 2021, I would have never found out my wife was pregnant with our daughter that January 9th. So when we talking about my kids literally saved my life or got me on track to where I needed to be, yes, they did. Because since then, I've quit smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, just really focused and leaning more into God, and full 360. Back to the fun story. You guys want to hear a fun story? Fun fact, last year, before my daughter was born, it was September 23rd. It was a Friday. I was taking my son, went to Sky Zone with his brother, his cousins. They turning up. They having a good time. Everything's all good. My wife is still, they giving her like to the end of September to have the baby. She had to have a C-section. So I'm like, cool, we Gucci. We turning up. We come back home. It's time to cut the cake. Now, usually we get Wegman cakes. For this reason, we got Publix. It's probably more convenient. It was right across the street from us. And, you have a pregnant wife. She's just tired, so we just trying to make things easy. We have a Publix cake, right? We cut the cake at like 9 p.m. It's all good. My wife eats the cake. Okay, cool. Everybody's settling in. I'm thinking in my head, ooh, about to get it popping one last time before the baby come. I'm getting hype. Everything's in line. I'm like, cool, it's going to be a chill night. I remember on the 10th, at like 10 p.m., kids are about to go to sleep. Going on 11, my wife is complaining. Oh, I'm in pain. I'm thinking, oh, it must be Braxton Hicks. Nah, dog, them things was intense. So intense, she's calling the hospital. She's calling her mom. She's telling them, like, yo, it's about to be go time. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I kid you not, it was go time. Literally getting everybody. We didn't even have our bags prepped or nothing. Like, nah, we just knew that it was going to happen the next week. This is why God's time is incredible. Anyways, we got everybody situated. We dropped off the kids, and we're going to the hospital at 12 in the morning. Surprise. And then to this day, we say that it was because of Publix cakes. That's a little inside joke I just shared with you guys. Back to the story. Going from that into celebrating a full year of our baby girl's birthday that Sunday just hit me different. Like, I cried as she was blowing out her candle. I was holding it in. I prayed, and I was just so thankful that what she has done for me. And it's different with a girl. Daddy's little girl, it definitely hit different. Like, my love for her is different than my boys. And I heard it's supposed to be like that, and I'm just so grateful to be a daddy. This is my reflections. I'm so, one might think successful business would get me happy or things of that nature, but it's just the fact of being a dad, like being a father, being active and sharing moments and having these moments that I'm forever grateful for. And that's why I want to create this podcast, because fatherhood is a bomb. Sometimes it does get tough, just like every other job. It's gonna get tough. It's gonna test you. You need to just refresh, rewire, reset, and get back to it. And this is the most fulfilling. It's so fulfilling. And I just got to salute my partner too, because she's a bomb mom too. We doing this. I know we were talking like, we had a few vacations growing up, going out of town here and there to see family, or in my instance, going to Busch Gardens and things of that nature, the beach. And I'm grateful for those. But I can't recall a vacation for the kids for creating the experience of going on a cruise, and that kind of opened up our eyes. I'm 34 years old, seeing that open up and like, wow, what's the next possibilities? Well, I got family in Hawaii. I got family in San Diego, California. I got family in Texas. Let's go take trips. Let's see the world. My kids, for example, they love the Warriors movie. They love the Warriors game. So do I. Let's go to New York. Let's go to Coney Island. So all these things expanded of just creating the most experience of what resonates with my kids. And I'm just so thankful that God made a way. It's all because of him. All glory to him. And for someone like me who grew up a little bit differently, I tell my kids this all the time: you have the opportunity to be the change no matter what your circumstances were or your circumstances are. You see, one thing about God's plan, as I go more into this journey and have attributes of Christ himself, I realize that it doesn't matter where you at. There's a plan for you. As long as you stay the path, you can change it. I'm changing the narrative right now. There's two ways I could go. I could go the same route of, I'm not going to be active in my kids' lives, or I could take the bull by the horns and shift everything. And that's what I chose. One's easier, one's harder. I went the harder route. A lot of the lessons I learned in life is because of the harder route. And I continue to do that and be a good example and steward of that, showing my kids what it looks like of walking that walk, talking that talk, staying disciplined up. Oh, daddy's stopping this. Oh, daddy doesn't do this. Oh, daddy reads a lot. What's book daddy reading? Oh, daddy's going to class. What class is it? Oh, he's learning more. Oh, learning's cool. These are all things I'm trying to teach them. Just be about your word. There's one thing about it. I never tell them something and it don't happen. It goes a long way when raising kids, and I just want the best lives for them. I want them to live a life better than mine. That's the goal. Fatherhood is tremendous. A lot of reflections. I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for fatherhood. I would probably still be very selfish. See, one thing about fatherhood, it teaches you to be less selfish. It's all full circle. Me and my wife joke all the time. Who gonna watch these kids? Who gonna watch these kids? Because we got some kids, y'all. But our time coming. When we going dolo on trips all the time, living our best lives, y'all just be ready. Y'all got like 6 more years. I say around when we hit 38, maybe 40. Oh yeah, timeline's gonna be turned up. Facebook's, oh, they on another cruise. Oh, where they at? Da-da-da. Every month, y'all better get used to it. I'm letting y'all know now. I feel bougie, y'all. Bougie, y'all. I finally copped a Stanley. Can't tell me nothing. Shout out my wife. She been on Stanley. I was hating. Finally got a manly looking Stanley. Shout out to Stanley. Hydration levels have been off the roof. Gotta love social media marketing because it's contagious. But that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in, listening to me, and continue to follow. I appreciate each and every one of y'all if y'all listen. And I want you guys to remember this. We are all like sticks of dynamite. The power's on the inside, but nothing happens until the fuse gets lit. Ignite the world.